All right, we are live. Hey, y'all. Hey, welcome to So What Wednesdays. I am your girl, Coach Ella Destiny. I have been waiting to do this for so long after my first show on the level with Coach Ella. That's a whole nother story, but here we are. We are here, and guess what? So what? We're not doing that. We into this now, and I think this is something that's more personal. It's more intimate, and I could just get up and close with my guests. Just a little bit of background of why I started So What Wednesdays is based on my book. Y'all know there's nothing wrong with saying so what. I dedicated the book to my dad, who y'all can see right here in the background. A backstory. My mother and my father in 2020, their 47th wedding anniversary, they both were hospitalized with COVID. My mom survived, but my dad passed away. And so during the time that they were in the hospital, I was just going back and forth, and I was just like, God, why is this happening? Like, what is going on? And in the midst of all that, God told me to write a book. And I was like, God, you tripping. Like, you know my parents in the hospital fighting for their lives. You talking about write a book. And he was like, so what? It's nothing you can do about it anyway. I need you to do what I need you to do because I have something greater for you. I have something else that I need you to do because I already know the outcome of what's going to happen with your parents. And so I need you to be obedient to what I've called you to do. And that is why I wrote the book. I was flipping through pictures in my phone during the time my dad was in the hospital. And I came across this picture of this sign that he was holding up. And I didn't know, me and my dad used to carpool. And it's all in my book. We used to carpool every day for 3 years. He was about to retire and he had this clipboard with all this stuff on it. And he had these signs that he hung around his office. And so one day when I took him home, we were having a car conversation. I recorded all of our car conversations. And I wanted to finish the conversation. And so we went upstairs and he was just talking about his boss and how he's so ready to get out of there. And I said, Dad, them people want to put you out early. And he just held up the sign. And the sign said, there's nothing wrong with saying so what? And God said, that's the title of your book, write it. And I was like, God, I don't know what I'm supposed to write about. Like, what do you mean? And he was saying all of the things that I took you through in your life, this with your parents, the things that I took you through with having 11 surgeries and spending a week on life support and all that, that's what I need you to write about. Like somebody needs to hear your story. And I tell people all the time, God can't use it if it's a secret. And so that's what brought me to there's nothing wrong with saying so what. And that's what brought me to So What Wednesdays, because every single day in our lives, we have so what moments. Every day there's a moment where you be like, you know what? So what? This didn't happen for me. Or so what? That happened. I can still get through this. Like I can still make it. I can still survive. And that is why I started this show. And I have with me some amazing, amazing women. When I tell y'all these women are phenomenal, and I am so blessed and I'm so pressed to be able to call them my sisters. We met at an event, and just how connected our spirits are. I went to support one of my sisters. Y'all know her. She's known Brashawn Shaw. I went to go support her in the passing of her dad. And I'm sitting there and I sit beside this girl, and I've seen her all over social media, but I never like met her in person. And so I'm sitting beside Tosh, talk to Tosh, another amazing woman. And we're just talking, and she just started reading me. I was like,
yeah, she was.
And see, I didn't know that. So rewind, we met in New York. I saw her the first time in New York at an event, at a fibroid event. And she said, your dad passed away and he has this watch or something. And I was like, what? How does she know? Like, I'm hurt. Like, my heart is bleeding because I just in June, we had to do this event in July. And she's telling me about my dad and this watch or something. And I was like, what? And I asked my mom, and he did have this watch. And so we're at Brashawn's house, and we're just sitting there talking. And she said, I'm having this event tomorrow, and I think you should come. And so I go to this event, and I see these two chefs, and I was just like, oh, okay. They had these New York accents, and I was like, oh, okay, they spicy. And then the one thing that drew me to these two women, there was a young girl in the audience, and she was talking about how she wanted, I think she wanted to be a pastry chef or something too.
Oh yeah, she was going to do
right. And she didn't have the confidence, and she was just like doubting herself. And the two of you were like, and y'all didn't even know that these were so what moments that I took in, but y'all were like, so what? We're celebrity chefs. So what? We are who we are. We still gonna help this sister because she wants to do this. This is what we do, and this is the type of people that we are. And in that moment, y'all showed me your hearts. You showed me the type of sister that you are. You showed me the type of women that you are. And I was just like, God, these my sisters, like these are my people. These are the people that I want to be around all the time because y'all just, y'all embrace everybody, but y'all embrace this young lady and y'all were like, we got you. Like, we're gonna not only are we gonna help you, we're gonna lay it all out for you. We're gonna be there for you. Put my number in your phone. I remember y'all saying that, put my number in your phone. And y'all didn't know this girl from Adam. And y'all are celebrity chefs. And so that's what made me just like really, really fall in love with the both of you. Just like, these are my sisters. I just love these women so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce y'all. I'm going to let y'all introduce yourselves. Chef Kim and Chef Danny, thank y'all so much for joining me.
Absolutely. My
I love
pleasure to be here. Kim and I both are excited to be here. I think everybody's in like a a, a phase of transition, in the beginning of 2024. Like lots of things are happening. Your story definitely resonates with ours. I lost my mom about a year and a half ago. Kim lost her mom late last year. So it's still pretty raw for both of us. So we definitely our hearts are with you when it comes to losing a close parent or just losing a parent at all. You know what I mean? I know that that's the natural order of life, but it's still super devastating and it's a transition, you know what I mean? But like you said, but so what? God presses on. And this too shall pass with all of us. So like you said, I mean, Kim and I really don't identify with the celebrity chef thing because we've been doing this thing for real for a long time. So at the end of the day, I think when God gives you the gift to be able to serve with a humble heart, it hits differently. Like we don't do things for likes. I barely post on Instagram. I know I definitely need to get better.
She has that she don't post at all.
She don't.
Yeah, I
don't
post.
So, but she barely.
But it's the humility, though. It's the humility that you.
But
have.
again, it's also the client roster. You know what I mean? It's a private, intimate thing when you feed somebody. So it's not always a show at work. You know what I mean? I'm not. You know what I mean, running around. It's for real life. You're in someone's home. You have to now make your office in someone's home, so you've got to fit in. So it's different than working in a restaurant or doing an event, or our everyday work is just different, and it's a very private world. And so there are respect and boundaries and things that you have to follow. So that's not the only reason why I don't post, but again, we don't identify with that. We get our hands dirty. We really work. We've accomplished a lot. And we're still working to get to that, aha moment where, it's like, okay, these things are working for me. I always make a joke about it. Like, I'm still frying chicken. So I'm not a celebrity chef until I'm not frying chicken anymore is the ongoing joke for me. But, we both have worked with a plethora of people. The client roster goes on and on and on. But again, it's not something that we brag about. It's really just something that came, you know what I mean? Food and cooking is a passion, and it's something that we both love dearly. And I think we just do it. We do it more so for the love, not for the likes, if that makes sense. So
Absolutely.
yeah, I don't do a lot of name dropping and name calling. If you really want to know what it is, you can Google and see exactly what work we've done. You know what I mean? Because there's still so much more to do. And so I think pressing forward with our next ventures and next, projects collectively, projects separate, are very intentional, are very culture driven, and are very us. You know what I mean? It's like a very unapologetic time, I think, for us as Black women, and just kind of where we've been, what we've been through. And death changes you. And so when you're working with those transitions, I think that you're just in a different place, so we're really still just doing it for the love.
Right. And that's the thing, a lot of times people don't, and that's why I identify with you ladies so much, because we've all lost a parent. And I just feel like I heard of people losing parents before I lost my dad, and it was just like, oh, like my heart bleeds for them. But now, like, that's something different.
It's different.
Happens to you personally.
Different type of pain. And so when people say, and I'm going to ask you ladies in a minute, but when people say, where did you grow up? A lot of people say, oh, I grew up in this neighborhood, or I grew up in this neighborhood, or I grew up when I was such and such years old. I grew up 4 years ago in my grief.
How about that?
That's when I grew up. Like I didn't grow up like over here or over there. I grew up in my grief. And I didn't know what that meant until my dad passed. My mom, like, I love my mom to pieces, but my dad, like, I was a daddy's girl. Like, my dad was my face. You know what I mean? And when you don't have that parent anymore, when you don't have that crutch, when you don't have that, you got to grow up.
You do.
You
Yeah,
got to
because
grow
you
up.
just
And
feel
it's just like,
lost. You feel
wow.
lost. Yeah.
I'm telling you, oh my gosh. And so that's why, another reason why, you know, I just really, really connected with you ladies, because I was just like, that, like we're all going through something, or we're all growing through something. And that is, we're growing through our pain. I want to ask the both of you, who is Chef Danny and who is Chef Kim? Who are you?
You know, like Danielle said, to piggyback off of that, even though we're celebrity chefs, folks gave us that name. Like I didn't go searching for that name, right? And I think because we've cooked for a lot of celebrities throughout the years, it kind of just stuck with who we are. But we don't really connect with that because we're regular people. And in hindsight, celebrities are regular people.
That's
When you're
it.
around them, you feed them, you see their family dynamic. They're just like me and you. They just are, the public knows who they are because of the platform that they have to serve. But outside of that, they're regular people. They
But I
poop,
think,
they
oh,
pee, you know, they have bad days. They wake up in the morning, they fight with their spouses, they argue with their kids. Like they have bad days, they have good days. They're regular people. So, you know, we're just in the business where we feed them and we nourish them and their families. But our heads never got big because of who we cook for. You know what I'm saying? Because they come a dime a dozen at the end of the day. People do this
That's
people, and we're people. And so we both don't want to work with somebody that think that they're bigger than what they are, or have big heads, or you know, you have this
about
platform.
that.
So it gives you the right to treat somebody less than or make them feel less than. Like we don't move in that dynamic, you know, and
And
we
so
address
do you feel
it.
like, so what, I cook for this person or that person, or I've been around this person or that person, I am still who I am. Like that does not define
Exactly.
who I
They don't define who
100%.
we are, right?
Unequivocally, that's who we are.
Their
First and
client,
foremost, we're
our
God
clients don't
fearing,
define who we are as a person.
That's
for
it.
sure.
But that's why when you met us, you know, at Tasha's event, we were just so real. And you know, when you met me, I was in the trenches of my mom having cancer. Like it was raw.
I
I
agree.
was right in it, you know, and you know, what that event was in what, like July, August, something like that. You know, so
It was like in August, I think. Yeah.
yeah, it was in August. So from August to November to her passing, every day was just heart wrenching to watch a person lose their independence, to watch a person who's vibrant every day. My mother is like my twin. We look just alike. So to see a person, you know, demising just like that, and you can't do nothing about it, you feel helpless.
Right.
Like
Right.
at that point, you know, it's like, so what? Don't nothing else matter right now but my mother, and keep her as
That's
long
it.
as I keep her here and enjoy these moments I can enjoy with her, because
That's
I'm
it.
never going to get those back ever.
And that's why I felt like, you know, I would reach out every now and then and say, hey, just checking on you, just want to make sure you're okay, because I didn't get to have those moments with my dad. You get what I mean? Like,
Right. I know, girl.
dur-
I know.
during COVID, we couldn't go be with him. We couldn't
Right.
have those moments. We couldn't see him. We couldn't spend time with him. And even another one of our friends, Kim Lee, you know, when her dad was going through, you know, when he was transitioning, I would just reach out to her and I would tell her, thank you so much for sharing your dad with us, because, you know, we didn't get to have those moments. And so I will always reach out to you and just text you like, hey, how you doing? Or just checking on you. You know what I mean? Just
And I appreciated every bit of it, and I reached out to you back. You know, I love how we connected at the event. Like, that's real sisterhood. And that's how
absolutely.
Black women and sisters should be, supportive of each other. You know,
Absolutely. And that's the
Danny
thing.
cried
It's
all the time. I cried
so
all
what you be around these people, so what you're, you know, around in different rooms and, you know, different situations. So what? Like, we are still human. We are still people. We still have feelings. And a lot of times I think that's what people forget, is that we feel like we're human.
the time.
100%. And that's what I was going to say. Like when you ask who we are, I mean, outside of chefs, I would say first and foremost, we're God fearing women.
Absolutely.
You know, we walk with God, you know what I mean? And that's first and foremost. And I'm not ashamed to say that on any platform and anywhere that I am. I almost took a Bible on Chopped and they was like, you can't do that. So, you know, so at the end of the day, you know what I mean? That's who we are first and foremost. We're emotional. spirited women that love what we do. You know what I mean? We're Libras. We're both Libras. We wear our feelings on our sleeve. We're truthful. We're honest. We're hardworking. You know what I mean? Like we're all of those things. Outside of cooking, you know what I mean? We're sisters, cousins, aunts. I'm no one's mother, but at the end of the day, we're, like she said, regular people, just chasing a dream, just doing what we love, and trying to bless people with our gift as we go along, just like you do. You know what I mean? This is your gift, and you shared your gift with the world. So that's what we are as chefs, just trying to share our gift
with the
world, for sure.
So there was one thing on Instagram that I saw Chef Kim post, and we just talked about this a few minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
What is the difference between a celebrity chef and somebody that's just cooking? Because, like we said, a lot of times people get on social media and they're like, oh, I'm a chef, or I'm a celebrity chef, this, that, and the third. But are you really a celebrity chef? Like, what makes you a celebrity chef?
Well, I think that the difference between cooks and chefs are people that can command a kitchen, that can run a kitchen, that can delegate. You know what I mean? There are levels to a kitchen. You know what I mean? So if it's a French brigade kitchen, if it's a, kitchens are run in an orderly fashion. So executive chefs, celebrity chefs, people that call themselves, those titles, are people that can command and run a kitchen without touching food. You know what I'm saying? A cook is a line cook, or somebody that can execute and take orders. Not saying that one is any less than the other, but you need one in order to have the other. And everybody is not a chef. Right. And just like Kim said earlier, you don't have to necessarily go to culinary school in order to be a chef. There are people who have been cooking beside their mothers and grandmothers and no more than people that have gone to, stages overseas, and and have worked in restaurants. I think that education definitely sets you apart, but experience does as well.
Absolutely. And I think just because you're an executive chef, most people that have those titles that get up that high of a ranking, they run a kitchen. They're 9 times out of 10 not cooking. They dictate who cooks. Like they throw out who needs to do what. They run the kitchen. They got, cooks. They got fry cooks. They got this. They got sautés. So they run the kitchen. So, and what happens, the person in the front of the restaurant has no idea what's going on behind the scenes. They have no idea. The chaos that's back there. John didn't come into work today. Someone's having a meltdown, got to take off a break off the line. No one sees the stress that happens in the back of the house.
And in the midst of that, you got to say, so what? We still got to get this food cooked. We still got to make these people happy. We still got to feed these bellies and these souls.
Right. It's not their concern. I'm paying for a service. I'm paying for this 5-star experience. I want what I paid for in front of me. I don't care what goes on back there. And you're right. And they shouldn't have to. But there's a lot that goes in. So to answer your question, cooks are very important. You know what I'm saying? Cooks are very important because they get the food out. But you also need a person that's going to run the kitchen to keep it in an orderly fashion. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've ran a restaurant. I've had a restaurant with my fiance. We ran restaurants. He's been in the business for 30-something years. Wow. I learned a lot from him as well. It's not easy. It's not easy. And I knew early on when I got out of culinary school, I said I didn't want to have a restaurant. I went to culinary school later in life. I was like in my late 30s, going into my 40s. I didn't want to be bothered with all that. I wanted to just cook the food that I wanted to cook. I love food. I wanted to have an intimate experience with my clients. That was it. And lo and behold, I opened up a restaurant with him. And it's good in the beginning, but you don't realize is that you have to depend on everybody else to make this thing fluid. And when I got to the situation where I couldn't depend on people are calling out. They're not coming to work. They come to work, they're on their phone. They drunk on the job. It was just crazy. You know what I'm saying? And then it all falls on me. If I want this thing to stay open, I got to pick up the hat and wear all these hats.
And so what were, both of you, what are your so what moments, or what were like major so what moments in your career? Like when you decided, I'm going to be a chef, I'm going to have restaurant, I'm going to have businesses. What were your so what moments? Because I know a lot of times in my family where I grew up, African American families from the South, a lot of times, like my dad, when I would say I wanted to be a singer, I wanted to do this or do that, he will always say, "Oh, those are pipe dreams." You know what I mean? And a lot of times I say that we have to eliminate the BS or the belief systems of what we were taught, and we have we have to retrain our minds to think of the things that we want for ourselves, because what worked for them doesn't work for us anymore. Like that was back in the day. That was a pipe dream back in the day. And a lot of times the other people, if Johnny pulls out pots and pans, he's beating on pots and pans, they go buy him a set of drums. But for us, if Mikey over here beating on pots and pans, they'll say, "Boy, if you don't put my pots and pans up." So what was the so what moment where, someone probably said, "I don't know, you want to be a chef or a celebrity chef? I don't know about that." And you said, "So what? I don't care what anybody thinks. I'm going to do it anyway."
My whole career was a so what moment. Like the whole thing, the whole thing, because I went to a regular 4-year college. I went to Norfolk State out of high school and studied pharmaceutical chemistry and was there for 2 years. But I was taking all the money my parents were sending me and cooking food and making more money. So I was always cooking. And I just decided, like, going into my 3rd year, that I wanted to pursue culinary. And so my parents really supported me, and they supported that even from when I was young, because I was always able to explore food. I've always had a love affair with food. We traveled a lot when I was young, so I had a lot of exposure. But I was always, and Kim and I joke about this all the time, we were always able to order from the adult menu. You know what I mean? Like, from as far as I can remember.
You didn't do kiddie menus.
I never ordered kid food. So the deal was, as long as you eat all your stuff, huh? What'd you say?
I said, wait a minute, y'all didn't have to eat from the kid menu. Oh, wait a minute.
I swear to God, like on God, I was never a chicken finger, French fry type of kid. I always wanted to try different stuff. And my thing was also the bathroom. Like, I was big on aesthetics and what it looked like. So I remember as a kid going to the bathroom on vacation, like, oh, it's real cute. They got 3 sinks. They got yeah, they got a gold, soap pump, whatever the hell. So I've always felt very, very supported. So when I pivoted career-wise, they were like, you done use your allotment of money for college. You could live here rent free, but you gonna pay for that shit on your own. You know what I mean? And so it made me appreciate what I was doing even more, because they supported me. They saw that I thrived in it, and it was go time after that. You know what I mean? It was go. Like, I worked in a few amazing restaurants in the beginning of my career. I've been the chef at Lincoln Center at the Metropolitan Opera and Ballet. And from there, I moved into the private sector of the business. And I know we don't want to say his name now, but I fucks with him. And P. Diddy was my boss at the time. He was my first celebrity client.
Yeah,
I'm not going to kick up.
Did you have to walk across that bridge for the cheesecake, honey? Did you have to?
Girl, I did not. I was a young girl from Harlem, and we were arguing and talking to one another face to face, very close. Like, it was never. Yeah, we garnered a respect for one another, because Kim and I, even though she says she started a little bit later, she still had a full-on career at the phone company. So she was well seasoned. She's always been like my big sister from the time we met. But I would like to say I was her big sister in cooking. Absolutely. But she always could burn. You know what I'm saying? And so that's how we were able to just kind of really, really link up.
Because I was new into the business. So like she said, my so what moment was, I was in a phone company. I was in 15, 16 years. I was in Verizon for a very long time, customer service, all that kind of stuff. Going to different offices, working. 9/11 happened. We couldn't go to work. It was a lot. So I always hated my job, and I always had cookbooks on my desk. My customers, you have a headset on. As soon as I get to work 8 in the morning, I even put my coffee down good. First customer, irate, cursing me out. My phone bill is too freaking high. What the hell? Gotta go through the bill all day. So it was a very stressful job. And then to add more stress to it, they always, what we call obbing. The management is always listening to the phone call, because if you do one wrong thing, or don't offer DSL, or don't offer an upsell, you're going to get suspended. So I used to get suspended all the time for having cookbooks on my desk. And me and this one manager, I couldn't stand it. She couldn't stand me. We would go head to head all the time, and I don't back down. So I was like, all right. So she would suspend me. I would take my 5 days in the street. I would go to the union. I would complain. I would grieve her, and I would always get my money back.
So you was
because
like, so what? You suspended me. I'm still
what
my coin, and you're
I'm
not going to
still
tell
sending to
me.
the
How about
customer.
that? Like, so
So
what?
you want to tell me I can't read a cookbook in between talking to customers?
Right.
But she just had it out for me. So my aha moment was when I woke up one day, and you go on your computer, whatever, and you see these advertisements that come out. You don't pay them no attention, but this one day, it kept popping out. AI, Art Institute, Art Institute. And I'm like, and I'm really, me and Danny could both, we are very symbolizing people. Like I look at symbol and signs. Like, why is this in my face right now?
Absolutely.
So I was on my way to work, and I went to work, and I said to me on my lunch break, I'm gonna call and see, can I do a tour of the school? I did a tour of the school. I get down to the school. It was on Varick Street in Manhattan. It was also called the New York Restaurant School, which is where my fiance went.
Where I previously went.
And where she went. They went to the same school.
So did you all
they
know each
changed
other
the
at the
name
time
to
that y'all
Art
went to school?
Institute.
Wow.
We didn't know each other in school. We met
No,
each
we
other
did.
late in life. I was already well into my career when I met Kim.
Yeah, I was brand new, snot coming out my nose, brand new. So I go to the school, I do a tour. The counselor came, went to the finance department, and they said, where do you work? I said, I work for the phone company. I've been to Verizon, whatever. They said, it's funny you say that. We got 3 students that work at Verizon.
Wow.
And Verizon pays for the program.
Wow.
I said, what do you mean? They said, all you got to pay for is your knife kit and your uniform. They pay for the whole curriculum. And I said, really? I said, sign me up now. And they signed me up. And I don't know what I was thinking, but I didn't realize the stress that was going to put on me. I didn't see it. I just wanted to cook. Like I found my thing. And like Danny, I grew up cooking. My grandmother was a phenomenal cook. I cooked. I mean, I ate everything as a kid. I was eating escargot at 4 years old.
Oh, wait a minute.
Right. Yeah, for real.
My grandmother worked for a British actress named Margot Graham, red hair lady with blue eyes. And I see her in my living room. I'm like, who's this white lady on the wall? And that was her boss. But she was very fond of my grandmother. She was her assistant. She cooked for her. She did everything for this lady. And my grandmother she was a phenomenal cook. Like we was the house that everybody came to on Sundays to eat at. So me and Danny just both grew up in that environment. Same environment. Cooking every Sunday. You could get off the elevator, smell the food coming down the hall. It was me and another family. Mr. Dickens and his kids and his wife would cook. We would change food. They have chopped barbecue. We got chicken. We got chitlins. Or we got stews. You know, it was all out, like phenomenal food all the time. And so when I found out that I could go to school and not pay for it because the job paid for it, I was done. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't realize I was going to school at night, working my job full time in the day. That was a lot.
So what? I'm doing this. I'm gonna grind. I'm gonna do what I have to do because this is.
I was like, so what? I'm gonna grind because my goal was I'm gonna get out this job. I didn't want to work. I was never a desk person. Like, I'm too creative for that. Like I'm
for 9 to 5. I say that all the time. I'm too creative for 9 to 5, baby. Like what is going on? Yeah.
Yeah, because you feel like a robot. You feel like a robot. Do this time, do that. Log off. Like I was tired of telling people I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm a fucking grown 40-something year old woman. I gotta tell you I'm going to the bathroom. Like right. So, I went to culinary school, graduated top of my class, and then lo and behold, a package came out from the phone company. They had a buyout. I said, sign me up. I'm taking it. Didn't know what I was going to do. Just took a leap of faith, paid up my rent for a month, and just hustled.
That is hustling.
And that's when I met Danielle. So Danielle contacted me up, but she took me under her wing, and she was opening up a restaurant in Brooklyn and said, "You want to help me?" And I was like, "Sure." I was just I was a sponge for all the knowledge. So I helped her. We did stuff together. We cooked for Fabulous. We would even cook dinners. We got so hustled, like we was getting our cars, doing Sunday dinners, taking them to the barbershops, the beauty salon, selling dinners. Like we was out there hustling like that.
I'm telling you. And
this is before we got to the big clientele. Like we were grinding. And it was really so on God. Like it didn't matter by any means necessary. We cooked similar. So it just clicked. It made sense. It
And
made sense.
that's the thing. And that's the thing. Like people don't understand, like, so what, this didn't work out, or so what, you're having problems. Like you still have a purpose. Like God still has a plan for you. And so you gotta step out there on faith, and you just gotta trust and believe that it's gonna happen for you. I remember I wrote in my book where, one time I didn't have a job because I had so many surgeries. I didn't have a job. I ain't had no money, y'all. And it was a Saturday. We was having a weed party at my house, and the weekend came out, and I stood in the middle of so many people at our house because we cooked and people came to our house. And so I told everybody, I stood in the middle of the living room and I said, y'all act like we're not moving Wednesday. And everybody was like, what? My kids was like, Mom, did you take your medication? Because back then they had me on medication, all that stuff. Like it was just crazy. And they were like, did you take your medications? And I'm like, no, but I'm moving Wednesday. I didn't have a job. I didn't have no money. I didn't know where I was moving to or anything. But I opened up here in DC, we have the Washington Post. I opened the Washington Post and I found this job on a Sunday. And I just applied for the job and the people called me back on a Sunday. And they were like, can you come in for this interview on Monday? I went for the interview on Monday. And then I went on Craigslist and I looked at this townhouse and I reached out to the guy and I was like, I really want this house or whatever. And the guy was like, come see it if you like. I was like, sir, I don't have a job. Like I just got hired at this place, but I don't have a job. I don't have no pay stubs. Like I don't have nothing. And the guy was like, well, come see it, see if you like it. I talked to him on a Tuesday. Wednesday, I got my keys. Remember, Saturday, I said, y'all act like we're not moving Wednesday.
And so Saturday, like, was in there.
I'm telling you, on Wednesday, I got my keys, and I see my sister in the comments saying she thought I was crazy because they really thought I was crazy. But before Pastor Mike came out with this whole series, I had that crazy faith. And it was like, so what? I don't care. Jasmine Sutherland, one of her songs say, people looking at me like I'm crazy, and I might be. People was looking at me like I was crazy, and I probably was, but so what? So
that's
what?
right. That's faith.
That I want people to understand. Like, so
people
what?
Don't
people
know what faith is. That
I'm
is
telling
faith.
you. When you say you want to cook, you want to be a chef, and people are telling you, girl, you can't cook or a chef or open a restaurant. So what? People don't believe in you. You got to believe in yourself.
I remember I was dating this guy, nice guy. We just didn't work out. We didn't like mesh well. But when I told him I was leaving Verizon to cook, he thought I was crazy. See? He was like, oh, that's not a good move. You got security. You got a pension here. You got this. I said, yeah, but I'm not happy there. Like I'm not happy. Like this is not my purpose. And I knew in my heart it wasn't my purpose. And I'm glad I decided to go with my purpose. It opened up so many doors for me. I cooked for a royal family that owned their own island in Jumbie Bay. I cooked for the guy that owns the New York Times. I was his chef for like 7-8 years. Like doors opened for me because I believed in myself, right? Danny was the first one when I got the big job. I got my first big gig. And back then I had a vision board. And on my vision board, I wrote a check to myself for $10,000. I said, and I prayed on it. I said, I want my first big gig to be $10,000. I had Oprah up there, Food Network was up there. I had all this stuff on my vision board. And I got a call to do a show for the Bronner Brothers hair show. I was scared shitless. I said, Danny, I got this gig, but I don't know what to do. I'm nervous. Like, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do. It was 250 people. She said, bitch, we doing this. Bitch, we doing this.
So what?
I got you.
We did it.
I was like, I got you. We good. We good.
We pulled that shit all the way off. Pulled it all the way off. And I never looked back. And that was a $10,000 gig. And I wasn't even a year leaving my company. Not even a year.
I'm telling you, and that's the thing. Like, I promise you, this is no word of lie. I have a check in my wallet. I'm not gonna say the amount, but it's big because I believe in dreaming big. Like, come on, big God, you gotta do this.
I got one on my fridge too.
I'm telling you, I wrote it out to myself. Like, God gonna do this, and I said it in this year, in 2024. God is going to do this, and a lot of times, people get scared. They don't want to do it because they don't have the friends, or they don't have the followers, or they're not getting the claps, they're not getting the likes, they're not getting the family support. So what? So what? You don't need the applause of other people. You only need the applause of God. Yeah. I'm telling you, and that's what people don't understand. Chef Danny, I want to ask you, because you did, you spoke the name or whatever, and I know you ladies are so humble, you don't name drop on those things, but I just want to ask, like, when you were cooking for Puffy, like, what was it in that moment? Like, what was your experience in that moment?
The experience overall, I would say, prepared me for every other person that I worked for. And I'm
Mhm,
saying that because of the degree of difficulty it is to work for someone with that much access,
mhm,
um, not only access, but creative
mhm.
energy. He doesn't sleep. You know what I mean? So when he said
Yeah,
that, that bad boy don't stop won't stop, like that's
That's
really a
real.
lifestyle, you know what I'm saying, and that's a thought process to get from where he came from to get to where he is, you know what I mean. And at the end of the day, like I'm in no position to judge anybody or tear
right.
anybody down, you know what I
Mhm,
mean. He was good to me when I was there. I negotiated my first six-figure job working with him because I was all like, by the time I got to him, I was in the 90s, you know what I mean? But I had never made six figures until I got to him.
mhm,
And so he allowed me to grow financially and to set my price tag and to not be afraid of what I was worth.
mhm.
I traveled the world with him. I've seen a lot, being with him. I think there's good and bad in every situation, you know what I'm saying? But again, I led my career with my faith and my belief and my
Absolutely.
love and entanglement and my family and the people that supported me. So I think the music industry period is a very, you know, it's a dangerous place. It's a thin
Mhm,
line, you know what I mean? And all of it, and all of entertainment, I think. Um but again, I met some amazing people. He put me on a trajectory to have access to people that, millionaires, billionaires, you know what I mean, that I've cooked for. And so I think the experience really set me up for everything else that I had to do. And it was something that I manifested because
come on, speak manifestation.
cut out pictures and write on magazine and cut out pictures of people, and I used to keep them in like this little photo album. And I literally ended up working for every person in that book except
Come
for
on.
Chris Webber. I think I just had a crush on Chris Webber at that time, basketball player.
Right.
Um, but I was able to, manifest this career. And he was one of the
Mhm,
people that was in that book. So I will always big him up as far as, giving a young black girl an opportunity and showing me the world. And, that's the person I know. That's the experience,
absolutely.
I had. I was there when his children were very small. So I got to experience all of those
Mhm.
kids. They're amazing. He's an amazing father. He's an amazing family person. Personally, what people do, I don't really have much, you know what I mean? Like, it's not for me to judge.
Absolutely,
It's not my place
absolutely.
to
It's
judge
like,
or
so
say
what?
anything.
He
My
got all that
experience was
stuff
great.
going on. Exactly.
I
So what?
can't
He
hear
got all
you.
those things going on. You
I
can't hear
can't
me?
hear you. I can't
Yes,
hear you.
I
Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
You can hear me?
Danny, you can't hear it, Danny?
I don't.
What happened?
No, we
It's
can
maybe
hear you.
a signal in the house.
I can't
Danny,
hear.
can you hear us?
Oh, we can hear you.
She can't hear. We can hear
Oh,
you though. I can hear you.
yeah.
Danny,
Mm-mm.
Oh,
talk.
This is so weird.
No, but
we can. We can hear
I can
you.
hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, I can't hear you guys. I can see you guys moving, but I can't hear anything. That's so weird.
Oh, what
Hold on.
happened?
I don't know.
Okay. We'll bring her back in. And so, Chef Kim, while we're waiting for Chef Danny to come back, so she just said that, giving Black girls an opportunity. What was it like for you to get your first opportunity with a celebrity?
Um, this is a funny story. So my first real celebrity I cooked for was Common. And this sounds really crazy, but I got it on Craigslist. For
Hmm.
real. Like I was on Craigslist. Someone reached out to me because I used to put ads on Yelp and all that kind of stuff, Craigslist, personal chef, whatever, trying to get
Hmm.
my feet wet. And this lady wrote me back and
Hmm.
said, "Hey, I have a client. I'm his assistant. He needs a chef to come and prepare healthy meals from him. He's about to shoot a movie." And she didn't say who it was. And I had no idea. And so but I kept seeing on the end of the email, the signature was Think Common. But it didn't even really hit me like that. I was like,
Yeah.
it's
Mm-hmm.
a fluke, whatever. So
Hmm.
I remember the day I had to go do the tasting and I had to get up, go to Brooklyn, downtown Brooklyn, very nice building, waterfall, see-through elevator. I get off. She comes and get me out the lobby. I'm there with all my stuff. He eats very clean. And I'm still not thinking it's him. I have no idea. These big brass doors. So she goes, lets me in the house. No one, he's not even in there yet. But I see this big picture frame with Ebony magazine, a magazine cover with him and Quincy Jones, and it was Common on it.
Wow.
And I said, oh, this is it. I got so fucking nervous because I was like, what the hell am I'm about to do? I was still like straight out of school. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I didn't know, but I knew I could cook. You know what I'm saying? Like, so he comes in, I'm in the kitchen, he comes in, he's very charismatic. He looks you straight in the eye. It's like that staring like deep in your eye. Like he held my hand. I'm shaking like a fucking leaf. I'm like, oh my God. He said, how you doing? I said, I'm good. He said, thank you so much for doing this for me. Wow. I'm so appreciative. You know, whatever you need, let me know. You need anything in the kitchen, let me know. My assistant is there. I'm gonna let you do your thing. Da 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 da. And I cook. You know, it was fish, quinoa, stuff like that, couscous. He's a very clean eater. And we sat down, we talked. He let me sit down. He talked to me. So how long we've been cooking, and just a real overall nice individual.
He is.
You know what I'm saying?
He's beautiful.
He was shooting the movie just right with Queen Latifah. So
baby, when I tell you that's my favorite movie, and I watch that probably twice a month. Oh, baby, when he went back to the basketball court, I was like, okay, Common. Yes.
Right. Yeah, so I fed him during that time.
Baby, yes, Common.
Just a really overall nice person. You know what I'm saying? So that was my first introduction to a celebrity. And that's pretty much it. And then me and Denny started cooking a lot together. She called me like around 10 o'clock at night. Kim, I'm like, what you doing? I said, I'm in the bed. Get up, bitch. We gotta go find some chicken and waffles. We gotta go to the fabulous party. I'm like, what? Oh, he's at a club downtown. Remember that, Danny?
I remember.
What are y'all craziest experience together cooking for somebody? Like, it doesn't even have to be a celebrity, but like, what was the most craziest thing? And y'all look at it now and be like, you remember that was the dumbest we ever did, but you remember that we did that. Like, what was the most craziest thing y'all ever did together?
I don't know. Like, it's probably
I would say the Hamptons.
The Hamptons.
So
these motherfuckers didn't sleep.
Yeah, I had a like all of my cooking clients, like in-house, all had homes in the Hamptons. Even Puff had a home in the Hamptons. So I frequented the Hamptons a lot. And we started. I got a client from a friend, and they were these like digital media brand group is what they were. So the show right now on Bravo, Summer House, is what we did 15 years ago with this digital media brand. So there were brands, they were like brainstorming in this house. Everybody was working like these young millennials, but they were doing something different. Instagram and stuff had just really started. I didn't really know much about it. Like like all of that social media stuff had just started, and these white boys knew all about it.
They were ahead of it. Like
they were ahead of all of that. And so I had to put together a team of people to go down and cook for like 2.5 months in the summer. Every weekend we would go down from Thursday to Sunday, and we would make these huge like blowout breakfasts,
family style dinners, barbecue,
lunches, all kinds of stuff. And then we would get sponsors like Dove, Patron. I mean, the list goes on as far as the Nordstrom's rack. Like, we had a bunch of sponsors that would come down and they would give products. And so it was like this big like fun house with people working Thursdays and Fridays, but on Saturdays and Sundays it would kind of turn into like this big, like literally what you see on Bravo right now is what we did 15 years ago. And I think that was it was crazy for us because it was a different environment, but it was also something that we got thrown into together. And so we had to like really navigate the Hamptons, which
and think on our feet.
Is not a place where you see people like us, you know, all the time. You know what I'm saying? So it was different for us navigating a different sector of culinary, you know what I mean? And mastering that and like really taking that. I did that for maybe 4 years, you know what I mean? Like every summer it was just known like we were going out there to cook.
Yeah.
You know, so but Kim and I started that together. So I would say that's the craziest thing. But we've done a shit ton of parties where like all kinds of things happen when you do events. You know, ovens don't work, oven doors fall off, like crazy things always happen. And it's always
I did
this
a wedding in Brooklyn, and
Baby.
it was a wedding for 100 and some people, 125, 150 people. My fiance helped me with it. Another guy I used to cook with, he came high, so I was pissed off with him because he wasn't ready to work. One of my fucking servers was high, drinking at the bar, fucked up. When the rentals got there, the stove didn't fit in the kitchen. Mind you, the wedding starts in 3 hours.
Wow.
And we even started cooking yet, and the stove didn't fit in the kitchen. They took the frame off, still didn't fit. So I was like, well, what are we gonna do? So him was like, we're gonna put this bitch in the alley downstairs. So we had to put it was an oven, and we put it down in the alley. It worked on butane, on I think it was like propane. It worked on propane. We had it in the alley, and we cooked all the food down there and took it up and down the freight elevator for the whole wedding.
I am not playing.
It was crazy. It was crazy, but no one knew anything. No one saw it. Like, they didn't know. The food came out perfectly. It was on time. Cocktail hour was perfect. Everything. 2 days later, when the wife and husband, kind of like digressed, whatever, she called me, oh my God, it was beautiful, whatever. Wow. I said, the funny part? I said, the stove didn't fit in the kitchen. And she's like, well, why didn't you tell me? I said, what the fuck was you going to do? You about to get married. Like,
right.
Help me find a stove.
Right.
But it's stuff like that happens. So it just taught me and Danny, like, expect the worst, but prepare for the best. You know what I'm saying? Like, something's going to happen. You got to just know how to pivot.
And it's
God is always going to prevail. God is always going to prevail.
I'm telling you, and that's the thing. Again, going back to so what, we have these moments and we go through these things and we have these experiences, in the end, it all works out. And if it does not work out, that means that it is not the end.
It wasn't meant to work.
Exactly. And that's what I tell people all the time. Like, you got to have faith, and you just got to trust and believe that no matter what advice would you give people that are wanting to not only cook, but be entrepreneurs? And, there's somebody watching this that's just like, I'm too creative for 9 to 5. What am I going to do? I want to walk away. I can't do this. I can't focus on my passion and my purpose and my dream because I got to come to work, or, I have to rise to the occasion. I have to meet these people. I have to be in a room and I got to speak and I got to perform, and I'm scared shitless. Like, what do you tell people who, are just getting started, or, who wants to do what they're called to do, but they're nervous, or they feel like they don't have the support, or, it's different things, different reasons that are holding them back? Like, what advice would you give to people?
Put God at the forefront, close your eyes and just jump.
I say that all the time. You gotta jump and just trust that God gonna throw the net. I say that all the time.
There's no rhyme or reason. Like, I was scared to death to leave my 9 and like it was real for me. When I left Verizon, even though I took a package, I used to get paid every Thursday. And when that next Thursday came and ain't no money coming in my account, I was like, oh, this shit is real. But I didn't let it deter me or scare me, because I trusted in God. God wouldn't bring me this far to fail me. He wouldn't have me graduate top of my class. He wouldn't have me be able to get an offer to even take a package. He wouldn't do all of that. So I would tell anybody, you got to take that leap of faith. If you're scared, then stay where you are and you'll never grow. People that grow take risks. You have to take a risk in your life at some point, or you'll never know your potential or where it's going to take you.
And a lot of times people always say, oh, well, I've been in my job for 20 years, or I have all of this leave build up, or I've been in this relationship, or I've known this person for so long.
You know what my backup plan was always? My backup plan always was, I got 2 degrees, 3. I had a culinary degree, I had an associate's, and I had a bachelor's in business. I can always get a job.
Baby, I'm telling you,
you can always follow your passion. You can always follow your passion. So I said, you know what? If this is my passion, I'm gonna focus on this right now. And if it don't work out, I can always get a fucking job.
That's it.
Jobs are gonna be
there. That's
how I looked at it. And since I left, I never had a job since.
Come on. And we restaurants and all of that stuff, and no job since. How about that? I'm telling
same.
You.
Facts.
I've only cooked my whole career. I've never done anything other than cook.
Nothing.
Wow.
And I love
She's
corporate.
had juice bars. She's opened up mad restaurants. very popular restaurant in Brooklyn. She opened up like, yeah, like you gotta bet
over
on
20
yourself.
years ago. I haven't
You
had
gotta bet on yourself.
Yeah, just seriously, close your eyes, put God first, and jump.
And I tell people all the time, sometimes the blessing is not in what God give you, it's in what he takes away. And a lot of times he have to take
You better
things away
preach. You better
Say
say
it
that.
again.
because we
say that.
won't move. If God don't take this thing
It's
from
what
us,
he
we're
takes
not gonna
away.
move. I'm telling you, we won't move, we won't go, we won't do, we won't speak. One thing that I'm big on is when people say, "Oh, I don't tell that part of my life. I don't want people to know that part of my life." That's the part of your life that you're supposed
You
to
should
share. And I
tell.
say it all the
But
time.
you're gonna help somebody.
God can't use it if it's a secret. That's it. He can't use it if it's a secret. And so that's why it was so important for me, to ask you ladies these questions like, what was it for you? What was the bad for you? What was the good for you? All of those things, because people need to understand, like, God can't use it if it's a secret. And we pray all the time, oh, God, use me or whatever. And then we get mad when we get used. Well, you ask God to use you.
Right.
And he will make you uncomfortable and move you if you don't move. When he will make you so uncomfortable. I just experienced
how you know you onto
that.
something is when you get scared. And like I've learned to appreciate being scared and uncomfortable. Because that's when I'm working my true purpose and how God wants me to move. Funny story. Danny got called to go on Chopped. She ain't want to go. I ain't going. I said, bitch, you going. You going. It was the day before her birthday. I remember this shit clear. It was yesterday. I remember this shit clear as day. She said, I'm nervous. I said, what are you nervous about? You cook for everybody. What are you doing? Because I don't know what they're going. I don't know what's going to be in the basket. It don't matter. You can cook whatever's going to be in the basket. She went on. Why your girl won Chopped?
Killed it.
Went back and won Chopped champion. She beat
Come
out
on.
5 motherfuckers that got 50,000.
Come on. Baby.
Yeah, that was a true testament.
That was a true story.
I was nervous every day, like literally
She was the
almost
first
like went to the bathroom on
African-American
myself.
women to ever win Chopped and Chopped champion. First black woman
First
ever.
African-American women. Come on, Black History Month. You better
Come on,
say
Black
that.
History Month.
Come on,
close
Black
out.
History Month. Yes. Yes, own that. Own it.
Y'all are funny. Thank you.
Own
Thank
it.
you.
And that's the thing, though. People don't trust God. And again, growth and comfort don't mix. And if you want to grow, you're going to have those uncomfortable conversations. You're going to have to be put in uncomfortable situations. You're going to have to be around uncomfortable people, because it's all a part of growth. And if you're comfortable in this situation, you don't want to grow. You're stuck because you don't want to grow. It's comfortable for you. I'm comfortable coming to this place every single day, my little 2-bedroom apartment or whatever. This comfortable for me. So I'm not going to go look for that house that God told me I'm supposed to have, the house that he promised me, because I'm comfortable right here. And so again, when we ask God to use us, we get mad when we get used. How? When we ask God to enlarge our territory, he say, okay, go to Jablip and jump off the mountain. You be like, well, God, you said enlarge your territory. Like, what do you want? Do you want me to enlarge your territory? Right. You want to stay right here? Exactly. And that's what, for me, I'm so big on so what, because it's like, so what? Nobody is clapping for you.
But that's why you see only a small percentage of people get to the top. It's a very small percentage, because they took that leap of faith and they didn't look back. Everybody can't go.
That's it. And that's the other thing. We want to take everybody with us. When God give you a blessing, that blessing is for you. And unless he told you to bring these people with you, you got to let those people go.
That's right.
And a lot of times we don't want to let them go because it's family, it's friends. That's my sandbox.
I'm letting them go. I'm letting them go.
I'm letting it go. 100%.
Right. And see, that's the thing. That's the so what? So what? I've known them my whole life. But guess what? My dad used to always ask us, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And when I think about it, this June the 19th will be 4 years. What have I done in those 4 years? You know what I mean? And so it's just like, if you're not ready to let those people go, those places go, those situations go, then you're not ready to grow. And that's it.
Amen.
Because where you going, everybody can't go with you. That's a fact. If they could, we all be there.
I'm telling you, you better say that. And that is why it's so important for people to understand. Listen, you got to let go. You got to trust God. And you have to do what you were called to do. You have to operate in your purpose and do what you were commissioned to do. Like, God, when it's time for the other people to come, He gonna bring them, because there are some people assigned to you. There are some people assigned to your oil. There are some people that are assigned to your blessing. And so, when it's time, God gonna bring those people. You don't got to worry about bringing them, because they're gonna come, and it's gonna be
They're
people
gonna
you don't
be
even know. It's gonna be
Mhm.
complete strangers. It ain't even gonna be people that you know. It's gonna be people that you don't know,
We're living
because
proof
God
of that.
has something for
We are
you.
living proof for that.
Because, like, who would have thought? Who would have thought? Like, I'm just in a. I just went to go support Taj. That's it. I,
Right.
I just go support, but because God knew that we were going to need each other in one way or the other. God knew that, some of us experienced some things that the other of us were going to experience. And so I need you to be in this place, because I need you, even if it's just a reach out, even if it's just a quick text, even if it's just a quick inbox. I need you to do this, because these people are going to be assigned to you. I would have never, ever thought that the three of us will be here where we are.
Right.
I am so thankful. I'm so blessed. I'm so
Oh, it's
thankful.
our pleasure.
He knows who and what we need when we need it. And so I am so thankful for y'all. I want to play a quick game real fast, right?
Okay.
I'm asking you 2 questions, and the answer is either so what or girl what? 2
Okay.
questions. Okay, so the first question is, you have to cook for Gordon Ramsay, and he tells you your food is some garbage. You saying so what or boy what?
Boy, what?
What?
Like, who
What
you
you
playing
talking
with?
about? What you
Right.
talking about, Chef Ramsay?
Like, boy, what? What's wrong with your mouth?
Right.
Right. Then the other question is, someone offers you the opportunity to run a 5-star restaurant and then take it back, be like, that's okay. They give it to somebody else. You saying so what? Or you being like,
So
what?
what?
So
So
what?
take it. Shove it up
100% so
and
what?
shove it too while you taking it.
Yeah,
You
you can
said
have
what?
it.
Shove it while you take it.
Been there, done that. Like,
I
I
don't
love
want
it.
it. I don't want it.
I love it. Oh my gosh, I
mhm.
love it. Y'all, this has been amazing. I'm so thankful again for y'all to be here.
That
Give
was
everybody
great. We
your
had a
social
great
media.
time. Thank
I
you.
love it.
Congratulations on your podcast. It's gonna blow.
Thank you.
It's gonna go really well. Keep doing
Oh,
what you're doing. Keep
thank you
saying
so
so what. Maybe
Thank
me
you
and
for
Danny
having
do a
us.
no. Maybe me and Danny do a little sequel to it and said fuck it.
much. Yes. Yes, because I got a whole
The
bunch of
fuck it
everybody,
podcast. Fuck it.
a whole bunch of people and a whole bunch of situations, starting with tonight, right before this
Right.
show. I'm gonna tell y'all offline. Just so do that.
That's funny. That's
Tell
funny. But
everybody how
thank you
they can
so much for having
Thank
us.
you for having us. We're
absolutely.
appreciative. Thank you,
And thank
Queen.
everybody for watching. Thank everybody for checking in. Tell everybody how they can follow y'all on social media, how they can reach our stories. And y'all don't name drop, but it's gonna be all on when they look y'all up. So tell everybody how they can find y'all.
We both have websites that are our names. I think the names are below. So
Yeah,
um
mine is KimberlyVanKlein.com.
and mine is
Chef Danielle.
chefdanielsaunders.com, and we're both on Instagram. I don't have any other social media.
I have a Facebook. I don't really use it for that, but my Instagram is Chef Van Klein.
And I'm Danielle the Chef on Instagram.
And make sure y'all follow them. Make sure y'all book them. I see one of my sister friends on here. She has like huge events all the time. It's probably over 300 women that she curated a group called Sister Friends, and everybody gets together. We just shot a video for Women's History Month. Y'all, when I tell y'all she's amazing, Tamika Page, she's on here. Make sure you get in touch with them for your events. If you want catering, if you want all of that stuff, make sure y'all reach out and connect with these ladies. They are phenomenal. And so what? They are celebrity chefs. They are still human. They are here to serve us. They are here to pour into us and to be the big sisters that they are. I love y'all so much.
Amen. We love you back.
Sugar.
Thank y'all. I love y'all. Until next time, there is nothing wrong with saying so what. And listen, my words for this evening, you don't have to be somebody to be somebody. You don't have to be the next Kim or the next Danielle. You could be the first you. I love y'all.
You are absolutely.
Amazing.
Amen. Have a good night, sister.
Good night. I love y'all.
All right. Bye, doll.